Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. I'm Pinky Webb. Today on the program, Lieutenant General Antonio Parlade and Communications Undersecretary Lorraine Badoy are ordered not to make statements on community pantries amid allegations of red tagging. As Senator blames the so-called appeasement and accommodation policy on China for the continued presence of Chinese vessels in the West Philippine Sea. Senate Minority Leader Franklin Drilon joins us live. And a major mall chain makes COVID-19 vaccines more accessible to the public. Robinson's Mall General Manager Arlene Magtibay is also with us in the program. Two officials of the National Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict, or the NTF-LCAC, have been ordered not to talk about community pantries. In a text message, National Security Advisor Hermogenes Esperon says he issued a gag order against NTF-LCAC spokesperson Lieutenant General Antonio Parlade and Communications Undersecretary Lorraine Badoy over red tagging. One senator has also moved to censure Parlade for calling some senators stupid for their proposal to defund the anti-communist task force. Let's go straight to the source of the story. We have Senate Minority Leader Franklin Drilon. Senator Drilon, good to have you again. Welcome to the source.
Thank you. Good morning for having me here again. It's a pleasure.
You are set to file a resolution to censure General Parlade of the NTF-LCAC over his stupid remark on senators. First, Senator, I wanted to find out, how did you feel when you first heard about this?
I really felt insulted. You know, Pinky, I have been in the Senate for almost 24 years. This is the first time I hear a member of the armed forces calling the senators stupid for not agreeing with him on the matter of the NTF-LCAC 19 billion appropriation, calling for a review. And I think it's totally disrespectful. That is why today I intend to file a resolution seeking to censure Lieutenant General Antonio Parlade Jr. for such disrespectful remarks on the Senate as because of these agreements on a question of policy. This is uncalled for. This is totally disrespectful. And to me, we should not tolerate this. Otherwise, the next today it's Lieutenant General Antonio Parlade. Tomorrow it might be a Sergeant Juan de la Cruz insulting us.
You know, just for context, Senator Drilon, it was an interview that I had. Okay. Senator, just for context, it was an interview I had with General Parlade. I asked him about his reaction on the proposal or call rather of some senators to defund the NTF-LCAC. Prior to that, I had interviewed Senator Gordon, and I asked him about this too, because Senator Gordon was calling the red tagging or looking into these community pantries as stupid, imbecilic, and shameful. Just for clarity, I want to play again that portion of that interview with General Parlade. Let's listen.
Gusto ba nilang tanggalin yon o hindi nila naiintindihan kung ano yung batas na pinirma nila? So I think that's unfair. Yung mga sinasabi ng mga senador, and let me finish this because straightforward, I'll tell you, sila ang stupid kung ito ay binabawi nila. Pinirma nila yung batas na yan para maging serbisyo, ipagpatuloy yung programa ng gobyerno para sa mahihirap. Ngayon, sasabihin nila na i-defund nila yung NTF-LCAC.
Okay, so basically, Senator, yun po yung naging interview. Siguro just to get a quick reaction from you, and I know that you're going to file this resolution on censuring him. Sir, what does that actually do, or what is the implication of that?
Well, it just shows the displeasure of the Senate as an institution, because we cannot tolerate insults to the institution where there is disagreement on an issue of policy. Certainly, Congress is the body that can appropriate funds, public funds, and it is within the right of Congress to review the allocation. Maybe the funding, if it will happen, will be in January when we have the new budget. But today, even without what we can do or what we can urge the president to do is to realign the 19.5 billion anti-insurgency funds, because this can be postponed. It's for the 822 so-called barangays. Certainly, they do not need it today. It can be postponed because these are little infrastructures, 20 million for each of the 822 barangays. I think it is most proper that a review be done so that we can have the president, urge the president to realign these funds. And this is the debate that is ongoing, and it's certainly the insulting remarks of General Parlade has no place in a debate that we are having. It's really misplaced and it's improper, and we have to protect the institution against insults, insults on the institution. We will debate with him, but he must recognize that the power of the purse is with Congress. Yes, we appropriated this for this year's budget. In fact, the records will show that I oppose this, but I was overruled by the BICAM, and the report did not contain what we wanted the provision to, what wanted the law to contain. But under the law, by the way, Pinky, under the law, there is a requirement that NTF, that this National Task Force on the Anti-Insurgency Task Force should submit a report, a quarterly report to the Senate, and report to us what disbursements have been made out of this huge 19.5 billion allocation. And I am expecting, and we expect, I am sure I'm speaking in behalf of my colleagues and the Senate leadership, because this is the law. General Parlade and the NTF-ELCAC should submit a report to the Senate on how they disburse these funds, and we have the power to scrutinize their expenses.
When do you expect to receive a report, the quarterly report from the NTF-ELCAC, knowing that you're still on break right now, sir?
Under the law, the quarterly report is supposed to be submitted every quarter. It has already been 26 days since the end of the quarter, and in fact, it's already overdue. While there is no specific period, it is presumed that it must be complied with within a reasonable period of time. And you have already 26 days since the end of the first quarter, and the report is due today.
And are you going to call on the NTF-ELCAC to submit that report as soon as possible?
They are required under the law, and they should comply with the law.
When you look into this, Senator Drilon, the budget is 19 billion. Ano po? Are there two parts to this? Would there be such thing as insurgency fund and discretionary fund?
Those are two different items in the budget. The so-called anti-insurgency fund, which is 19.5 billion, are supposed to provide assistance, infrastructure to 822 barangays all over the Philippines at 20 million per barangay. These are the supposed barangays which has been cleared of the insurgency. And in fairness, this program has been there since about 2016. And even, I think I recall, even before, during the time of President Aquino. But the basic difference was that the funds were already allocated to different departments. Example, if it involves livelihood funds, then it is implemented by the Department of Agriculture, if it involves or the Department of Trade, if it involves school buildings, construction of school buildings, the Department of Education, etc., etc. It is only now where it is specified under the General Appropriations Act upon the strong suggestion of the administration that the 19.5 billion, which is a sizable increase from the previous allocations, of the 19.5 billion, the disbursement will be directed by a task force, not even an agency. That is why I was objecting to this. It is in the hands of a task force, not even of a regular agency. 19.5 billion is a huge fund and bigger than a number of departments like the Department of Labor. And all that we are asking is that these should be realigned for the immediate need of our people. And what is that? The ayuda, the social amelioration program, because our people are suffering, the millions of unemployed, especially for the last 2 weeks or so, where again the National Capital Region and the neighboring provinces were placed under a stricter, enhanced community quarantine. And again, because of the difficulties that our people encountered, I think there was 4.5 billion which was released. Obviously, not enough. That is why we're saying, unahin muna natin, let us first give priority to the ayuda rather than the anti-insurgency funds.
Senator Drilon, we need to take a very short break. The Source will be right back. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Our source today is Senator Franklin Drilon. Senator, just very quickly, I want to talk about that gag order that Secretary Esperon had issued on General Parlade and Undersecretary Lorraine Badoy. I know Secretary Kiko Pangilinan was also saying that General Parlade must be disciplined as well. What are your thoughts on this? Is a gag order enough, or should this go a step further?
Well, to me, the more important action should be to remove General Parlade as the spokesperson, because the Constitution specifically prohibits those members of the armed forces in active service to be designated in civilian positions. Here, clearly, this is continued, Parlade's continued position of designation of being spokesman is in clear violation of the Constitution. And here is demonstrated the adverse effects of his holding dual positions. When he speaks, he is an active member of the armed forces, in effect debating on a policy and insulting a civilian institution. And therefore, this certainly has no place in our system. We repeat, we cannot tolerate the legal situation cannot tolerate Parlade continuously being in the position or designated as spokesperson of a purely civilian
I understand.
position agency. No, but let me point out one thing. Parlade is part of the chain of command. And when he makes this statement, he is making the statement as a spokesperson of a civilian agency. So if you notice, not even the chief of staff can tell him, stop talking. Either to be General Esperon, Secretary Esperon, who is a civilian now. Here, it would appear that Parlade is outside the chain of command insofar as the actions or the statements that she makes as a spokesperson of the National Task Force on or the Anti-Insurgency Task Force.
But Senator, here's the thing. This is not the first time the senators brought this up. Already in the past, this has been said that he is violating his position as a spokesperson of the NTF-ELCAC is already violating the Constitution, and yet he has remained there.
Well, yes. In fact, that is contained in Committee Report number 186, which was adopted by the Senate. This is the report of Senator Lacson in the Committee of National Defense. And that was upon my motion on the floor. Right. The report was amended to include that specific prohibition in the Constitution and calling the attention of the armed force of the DND on this setup, which is unconstitutional. Unfortunately, we have been ignored, and that is something that we must correct. And since we are a political body, what can happen is that when as Senator Lacson said, while he has been defending the budget of the armed forces, when it comes to the debates again in the second half of this year, he will be less than enthusiastic because
yes,
an active member of the armed forces is insulting and very disrespectful of the Senate and violating the Constitution.
I need to jump to this, Senator. We're running out of time. You are also planning to file a resolution to condemn China's illegal activities in the West Philippine Sea. Sir, please tell us more about this.
Well, today we are filing a resolution condemning the illegal activities of the People's Republic of China in our exclusive economic zone and other parts of the West Philippine Sea. Pinky, this resolution has already the support of about nine senators. Apart from myself, Senators Pangilinan, De Lima, Hontiveros, Recto, Poe, Gordon, Binay, and Villanueva already signified their support for this resolution, which supports the position of Secretary Teddy Locsin, who has filed a series of diplomatic protests, and Secretary Lorenzana, who has made very strong statements on the continued presence of this fleet in our exclusive economic zones. And I repeat, we will file this, and I have gotten the support already of 9 senators that I have enumerated, because indeed we must do everything. We must contribute our share in generating public opinion against this unlawful act of the Chinese government. And therefore we are filing this resolution to express the sentiment of the Senate as a partner of the executive branch insofar as foreign policy is concerned.
Actually, that's what I wanted to find out. This resolution, now you say there's 9 of you supporting this. This would actually, in the end, really be a sense of the Senate. Yun po yun, ang kalalabasan itong resolution na to. Okay.
Tama po yan. It's a sense of the Senate, in effect. The sense of the Senate, if we can have a majority, and I am confident that with the 9 senators already expressing their support for this, when we open on May 17 our sessions, there will be more who will be joining us in passing this resolution to express the strong sentiment of the Senate that what the People's Republic, the Chinese government is doing is contrary to the arbitration award and does not promote stability in our region.
One last question I wanted to find out from you, Senator. AFP Chief Cirilito Sobejana said that that proposal to build structures in the West Philippine Sea, he said that they are actually entertaining this idea, subject, of course, to the wisdom of the NTF. West Philippine Sea. Okay, it's another NTF, the National Task Force on the West Philippine Sea. What I wanted to find out from you, Senator, is how soon, if ever, the NTF, WPS says yes to this, or the president for that matter, how soon should this be done?
Which one? I'm sorry,
building of
which one?
structures.
I'm sorry, what should be done, Pinky? I didn't get your question.
Senator, there have been proposals, even from experts, international experts, what the Philippines really needs to do. Another thing that the Philippines should do in the West Philippine Sea is to start building structures in areas over there.
Okay. Yes. Well, yes, I endorse that idea because actual occupation is an element of ownership, of jurisdiction, and building structures on these islands only strengthens and provides proof of our claim for jurisdiction over this area. That it is part of our exclusive economic zone. Yes, I support that proposal.
Senate Minority Leader Franklin Drilon, sir, as usual, thank you for your time.
Pinky, thank you for having me this morning.
And a major mall chain is helping out some cities in their COVID-19 vaccination drive. We speak to Robinsons Mall's General Manager, Arlene Magtibay. After this quick break, we'll be right back.